The point of sending people to Rwanda is that it is a deterrent. So you're trying to deter them from coming here, and via small boats, which, as you know, is dangerous and many people are dying, run by people smugglers in $1 billion or £1 billion industry. That's the point. We don't want them to go to Rwanda. We don't want them to take a boat. But in order to do it, we have to put something there in place. I just want to get Guy Dampier. What's your thoughts on this?
Well, I think he's correct that there are some real subtleties to this case. It is for offshore processing, which is much more like the existing United Nations operation that is in Rwanda. It's not a permanent deportation. It's not a permanent removal. It's also only aimed at the 10,000 or so who are coming across the eastern borders from Russia and Belarus. It's not intended for the much larger numbers who are coming through the south of Germany. And I think that is the major problem for the Germans. They have an enormous refugee problem. It is costing the country an absolute fortune, and they are experiencing a sort of drip effect almost every day over this summer of gang rapes, attacks, and even terrorist attacks, as we saw recently. In fact, just yesterday, a young Bosnian origin man from Austria who made an attack near the Israeli consulate in Munich. So the problem for the Germans is it's all very well to say this sort of thing and sound tough, but it's not actually going to deter the people that they really want to deter.
And Guy, on that point, I mean, are you seeing now Europe getting tough on these positions as Britain moves away from these deterrent effects? We saw Germany just last week deporting some 28 people back to Afghanistan without doing a deal with the Taliban. Is Europe toughening on this issue while Starmer is walking away from it?
I think that's definitely true. Europe is toughening. We've seen Sweden, which was famously pro-immigration, recently bragging about the fact that they've had the lowest number of asylum seekers since 1997 as a result of changes they've made. We can see that Italy is trying to do offshore processing in Albania. We can see that Cyprus is asking for certain areas of Syria to be declared as safe so they can send Syrian refugees there. There is definitely a trend on the continent. The question is whether it's going to be strong enough, because you can see with a lot of these plans, it's very difficult to deal with the numbers that they actually need to deal with. And the Rwanda plan, as intended by the Conservative government, had a genuine deterrent effect. We saw people going into Ireland because they didn't want to be sent to Rwanda. And I've spoken to people in contact with refugees who said that there was a very swift awareness among refugees of what this would mean, and they started looking at alternatives. I don't think that would be the case for Germany, and I think that will show in the German elections next year, where the CDU, the centre-right CDU, and the more right-wing AfD have both been doing extremely well, in no small part because Germany is fed up of this.
Guy, you've heard Shoaib there mentioning the pull factor of Britain. The Interior Minister of France said that that's part of the problem. Do you agree with him?
Definitely. I think there's a reason why people come here when there are refugee camps and safety relatively closer. It's because they've got a dream of the West, and in many senses, they've got a higher than 50% chance that they are going to get here and they will be looked after for life and have a more comfortable existence.